I've always chatted to you in the past about like your creative mindset. For those who don't know, Phil, you actually have your own kind of like what is it, the brand
Little art
Hyperhuman.
brand. Yes, Hyperhuman.
Maybe I'll let you introduce it
Sure.
to everyone first.
Sure. So yeah, I think so. Hyperhuman is this. It's not just an art brand. I think it's a full on like personal like switch that kind of has happened recently about like embracing the art in the role. I think when it comes to like its responsibility in the world at the moment, and I think like I've been a lifelong artist. Like I was drawing as a kid, and I did martial arts, and I was a performer, and like I danced, and like there was so much beauty that was like imbued into my life because of the arts, and I got to like express myself in so many like cool different ways. And I think I think especially in recent years, I feel like when I used to live in Sydney like 5 years ago, one of the reasons I wanted to leave to like Melbourne was because I felt like there was it's kind of this pressure, and like it's quite hard to actually pursue these kind of like expressions, right? If you don't, then it's like if you kind of commit to these things, you kind of risk your like financially, like socially, you can get like a bit like isolated, kind of things like that. And I think I've only noticed those patterns kind of like grow globally as well. So I think for me, looking at like some of the problems in the world, I think there's a lot of like kind of like splits in the way of like, I think there's a lot of division, like especially since going to America. It's like sometimes it's not even because people think this and that, is the fact that there is so much divide, and there's like a lack of mutual understanding or like engagement. And I think that's what I want to do through my art. I think as someone that likes to like perceive like I've always been interested in like mental health and like psychology and things like that as well. So like I want to imbue that into the art to help people understand each other a bit better. And so that's kind of like the idea of this hyperhuman things. Like instead of like being forced away from my humanity to like do a job I don't want to do to like make the money that I have to make and all this kind of stuff, it's actually about doubling down. And being a bit counterintuitive,
taking a bit of a risk,
actually,
sort of thing.
essentially. So like, I want to like show people the value of like leaning into your humanity, even though it feels a bit like counterintuitive. And actually show that, hey, we got to do this if we want to like stop the world splitting apart. Because I think that's what I'm perceiving in recent years, but especially since moving to America. It's like America's kind of showing the patterns if we don't change our ways. So.
Well, on that vein that you've just talked about America, right? You've obviously lived there for about a year and a half now, a year and a bit now. How have you kind of found the transition moving from Sydney to America? Because I know a lot of our viewers are probably Australian, right? They're seeing the landscape of America at the moment. I think that everyone's got like a very skewed mindset or view of America. I think having lived there for about a year and a half, can you tell us more about what it's like in America truly?
Yeah.
'Cause you live in where do you live at the moment? Maybe tell us where you moved to.
Yes, because I'm living in Los Angeles, and I'm in like the center of Los Angeles. Which is pretty interesting because it's like it's at the center of so much global news constantly. Like since I've
LA is
moved,
the place to be.
Since I've moved there, it's just like it's kind of crazy to like kind of something that happened like locally, and then next week I'm watching South Park and I'm like, hey, that episode is like just fucking out my window, man.
Too real. Too real.
Yeah, straight up. So like it's pretty surreal, but I think like the way I kind of perceive things at the moment, I think in Australia that there is a very negative kind of like perception of America.
Yeah.
There was like a WWE like showcase thing here recently. They've sung the American anthem. There was like booze.
Oh yeah,
all
I do
through the
remember that.
stadiums.
Yes.
I think it's a very negative kind of perception.
I remember that. That was in
with,
Perth,
like,
actually. That was in Perth.
Yeah, and I think especially with Australia having this like slight like anti-immigration, white supremacy kind of stuff like bubbling. I think there's a lot of like kind of anger to America for kind of like maybe influencing a bit of that as well. So, I think there is like a truth to what people kind of perceive. But I think for me, like, I've always kind of seen, or recently the way I describe America is like, in my personal experience, it's like pushing a boulder up this hill. Yeah. And essentially, like if you're not pushing the boulder, it can be pretty sad. Like it's, there's all like issues there, like with homelessness or like drug issues or safety and infrastructure and transport and the like a lot of things are just like quite rough compared to Australia, especially, and the privilege you kind of have here. But when you push the boulder up the hill, it's quite amazing. Like the niche communities you find and the types of people, a lot of like extremely cool people. I think America is a very extreme place, but like if you find your niche, it's quite like it resonates like very strongly as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's me pushing the boulder up the hill. It's like when I find it, I find it. It's amazing. But the boulder's still there, you know? Like you don't just like release it. It's like, oh,
you can't
nice.
let it go. Otherwise, then it topples down the mountain with you.
That's kind of the thing I've been getting into the pattern of is like, you got to kind of sometimes you got to like, the boulder's heavy, so you got to just embrace the fact that it can suck sometimes.
Yeah,
like it's pretty rough. It's like a lot of privileges you just don't have compared to Australia. But when you have the energy to push it up, it's like this is why I came here.
Yeah,
but
it's like a magnificent view at the top, and that's kind of fulfilling.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of like the way I kind of see things these days. Is like in America at the moment, there's like this a priority for me is like this like creative expression and the community. Everything else is very compromised. Whereas when I'm over here, it's kind of flipped around where like everything's quite great, except this kind of like creative ceiling that does exist here. So that's
a very interesting take that I think you have there, and I think that focuses more on a very, very how do I put it, like a philosophical view or aspect on like what America's the differences between America and or LA and Sydney are. What I'd also be more interested to understand is also kind of like the lifestyle differences. I'd say like in terms of like living in Sydney, because I know like you've got a lot of friends here. Like we're obviously your friends. Like you've got a lot of friends that you've visited and caught up with in the past 2-3 weeks, right? As well. Like having moved there, like did you have any friends when you were there? I know we spoke about this before, right? Meeting new people, I think is something that you don't really have a problem with. But how did you find it?
It was like, because I do like, I think the way I kind of see things now, it's just like I kind of split it into like two halves, and there was like relationship half, and there was like no relationship half.
Okay.
And so like I think because like when I moved there, I was in a relationship, and then when it ended, like I think everything I knew, the like stability I knew, the family and friends was like very much like my partners and stuff like that. So once it was over, it was like, okay, now everything was that was familiar is like no longer there. Now it's just me in LA, right? So I think that was a really trippy experience, because it really was like, damn man, this is
the real deal.
Yeah, this is like real, like okay, this is like, especially after a breakup, right? First thing you kind of do is like you hang with your mates and your boys and like all that kind of stuff, and you like like I feel like definitely when I was there, I was like, man, all I want to do right now is like freaking go brunch and chat shit with some mates. But like I think that's what's kind of been an amazing kind of like like the
roller coaster kind of.
Yeah, and I think like the hyperhuman thing like helped a lot, because it was like all my energy was just like my
Focus
creative brain went insane. It was an amazingly intimidating process. It was quite amazing. But like I think when it came to making friends, I think because America is so full of so many different people.
Yeah.
And I think when you come from somewhere where you already have like, the friends you have are already like filtered from so many people you already meet. Yeah. You already have quite a high standard of like the kind of things you look for, like in friendship chemistry and things like that.
Yeah.
So when I was over there and I was like trying to meet all these people, I was going to these random like friend events and whatever, and I was like meeting people, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of fine like while you're there, but after I go home, I was like, I do not want to see these people ever again. Like I have no compulsion. Like
you just had enough of them already.
Yeah. So I think it was just like, I remember after doing it a few times, I was like, this is so like, what's the word? Just demotivating. I was like, this is like, where are cool people, bro? Like I thought LA is full of cool people, but I think there is cool people, but it's like amongst everything else.
Yeah.
So, but I think over time, I think like what kind of happened for me was like the more I embraced my art, because when it was just me and my art, and so when I went outside, it was like I was like dressing different. I was like my jewelry, everything was like changing quite like drastically, and I think that's actually what helped, which was kind of amazing. People got magnetized to me, which is quite amazing. I just never kind of experienced that before in my life. And people would come up to me, ask about my jewelry or my clothes or like or whatever. And that's how I started making friends. And now like the people I know are people that just kind of naturally gravitated. And it was like quite amazing. It was like, you don't have to do all the hard work. It was just like being extremely my hyper-human self.
Yeah.
Actually-
Tend to your garden, and then the butterflies come.
Yeah, it was really like your vibe is your tribe bullshit.
So is it still bullshit?
That was me being a bit like condescending on vibe is your tribe people, but like there's some real shit to it, I think. So, that's the kind of the process. It was like this rediscovery and like especially amongst this like boiling pot of a place.
Yeah,
it was what was necessary, and I think that's kind of the American way. Is like that individualism is what works in reality. Yeah.
And now you've come back basically for about a month and a half.
Yeah.
I think when you came back, we actually had a box. Well, actually, Sam's box actually. When Phil came back, you literally just came back. You took a flight to Gold Coast, and then we literally just caught up then and there. How did you? Or it's been 2-3 weeks since then. But how did you kind of feel coming back from America? I know you had a lot of thoughts. We were chatting about it in detail. But
it was pretty surreal because I think even in the last like few weeks I've been like absorbing it because I think like like I was kind of talking before about how like when I was out there by myself it was like, man, all I would really love is some people to hit up, man. And because every day I was just waking up, I'm like, it's me, what I do, what am I like, my life's kind of this weird mess and like direction and like so many complexities, right? And like once I like I kind of was like really dreaming of this moment, right? I was like kind of at night I'd be like, man, like that it's I had a few friends visit for Coachella and EDC and like some trips, but every time they left, it was like the void opened back up again. I was like, shit. It's like but when they arrived, I was like, whoa, like, oh my god, the laughter and the conversation,
the familiarity kind of flowing.
But it's quite amazing just what I'm becoming over there, and then like the familiarity that kind of hits me again. So like, during the Bucks when I got into like the van, it's like 10 dudes. It was like the freaking clown car of an experience, right? It was like, it was really like, fuck. It was I couldn't even comprehend. I was like, man, like I have not experienced this in a long time, man. So it was pretty surreal. But I think like as I've been traveling around and like seeing friends and all that kind of stuff, like sometimes I'm having a conversation, but in my head I'm like, wow, I can't believe you are in front of me.
It's been too long.
Yeah. It's like not even like a just too long thing, but it's like like there's so many long periods of time in LA where I was like, really like, I need to see my friends. Yeah. And like
you need to recharge that battery kind of in a way.
Like just feel that like love. 'Cause I think that's kind of what happens like post breakup as well. And like you're fully unfamiliar with the society and the way it runs and all that kind of stuff. It's like nice that you don't have to like do that uphill battle things. Like it's like the downhill. It's like I'm here. It's like it just flows.
Do you feel like you appreciate?
Yeah. So I think like when my when some friends visited for Coachella, after they left, I was like, I had this really strong feeling of like, wow, the privilege. It is such a privilege to have people you can hit up anytime. And especially have to have a lot of people you can hit up anytime. I was like, when I was over there, I was like, damn, I can't believe I used to live in Sydney and Melbourne and be like, there was people all the time, and I wouldn't sometimes, I was like, get caught up in your own shit and like, but since coming back here, I'm like, whoa, like it's just like a wonderland. It's like a freaking festival and all your friends are everywhere and you can just go. Because LA is also a very sparse place. Like you have to travel quite far if you want to. Even if you make a friend, they're like an hour away. Like So
that's like what that's like equivalent of basically if like from the city to basically like Parramatta. That's like an hour away, I'd say probably. Equivalent from Sydney perspective.
Yeah, but like you have to drive it as well. So like and that's terrible traffic and stuff. So I think that's kind of my experience at the moment. It's just like this flood of things I needed for like a long time.
Familiarity, like like your old friends, like the support and all that stuff.
So it's quite interesting because I had to go back in 2 weeks, but like, because I'm definitely juggling like what's the life direction at the moment. Yeah. But it's I'm kind of doing this priority because kind of what I said before is like in LA there's this very high priority being fulfilled. Everything else is compromised, and over here it's like the flipped version. I'm kind of figuring out what's actually important. 'Cause I got to decide where you're
heading.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
Yeah,
because staying over there is like a lot of sacrifices gets made. Like financially, there's always things happening, right? So
LA is probably like if not more expensive than Sydney, probably, right?
Yeah,
probably the
like
same.
it's like even though I'm on a USD salary, it's just like it just scales up.
Scales up, yeah.
Plus, probably more because like the once you get into the lifestyle, you are like you go around a lot and you spend a lot and like all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
It's not like here where it's like your lifestyle might be just stepping outside and having local friends. It's like you are moving a lot over there. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, definitely give Phil a like and follow and a subscribe. Hyperhuman, is it 1.0?
1.0,
Yeah,
yeah.
1.0. Hyperhuman 1.0 on Instagram.
The idea was that I actually did 1.0 because Hyperhuman itself was taken, but then I was like 1.0 in case it evolves.
Who took Hyperhuman? Is that channel still live?
Oh,
or
some
that?
dickhead. I don't know. Some dickhead.
Okay.
Some dickhead that had no vision, man.
Okay, alrighty.
Do you have a YouTube?
No YouTube. Maybe I'll take that.
Definitely, I would definitely start on YouTube and like I know you start vlogging the stuff that you do. Phil's already done some pretty cool stuff. I think like you did a few like stunts, fire. What is it like?
Lots of lots of. What have I done? Lots of like, there's a lot of like self-reflection stuff, but through the lens of like art. But then there's also like more bigger projects. Like I worked with like a music video, like cinematographer for like a dance video.
Yeah.
I worked with stunt people for like this fire video where you like got lit on fire and some of the stunt folk and
Well, there you
all
go.
the things to go. There's a lot of myriads of art to go. So
I've been saying to Phil, I've been asking for his autograph for the past like 5-6 years now because I'm saying to him when he becomes famous, at least I'll have something on my wall that has his autograph, and I'll be like, I knew this guy who is now famous. He's gonna be like the next Tom Cruise basically
sure.
for a movie. No, thank you so
Appreciate
much,
that,
Phil, for sharing your experiences.